Arkansas alternative firearm season this year. Going into one of my best spots this morning, trying to beat the rest of the crowd. Orange Army's out in full effect today, so I'm trying to beat the rest of the crowd in here. Not real sure that it's gonna matter, but maybe we'll catch one going back to bed. I'm gonna put this up and get where I'm going. Well, finally got in here, got set up. Took a while. I think that's just part of it. We're using the climber, camera arm. When things just take longer. I think we're in a good spot here. Got a huge screen over here, big oak screen that I got a camera on. I got pictures of deer on it the past few days. Didn't get any this morning, but the peak and minor times of the day have changed, so maybe that'll stay true. We'll see some deer as the minor time comes through about 8:30 or 9 o'clock. So I wasn't real worried about getting in here a little bit late. A lot of times those peak and minor times don't lie. Think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but my wife, for some reason, she cannot eat pork and she cannot eat beef. It doesn't matter if it's farm raised or if it's bought from the store or whatever. If she eats any kind of processed meat besides chicken, it just makes her sick to her stomach. She just gets sick. And so deer meat is about the only thing that she can eat as far as like burger and stuff like that goes. There's her, deer steaks and deer tenderloin, anything like that. She can eat chicken at least, I try to kill, well, I was going to say at least 4 or 5, but I try to kill my limit of deer every year. And she'll usually kill 1 or so per year, so we usually end up with 5 or 6 deer a year in the freezer. Well, last year I didn't have a very good year. I killed 2 small deer, 2 small does. And that was it. And the year before that, no. Last year, something happened with our freezer, and we lost those 2 deer in the freezer. They got freezer burned. So we've been going since about February of this past year with no deer meat. But that felt good right there, just to get some deer meat in the freezer. I know that's kind of cliche. But in this case, I'm glad to have that dude in the freezer. Big old doe. She's a fully mature, good-sized doe. Get my doe. I'll show you all. See all this stuff I'm gonna go through me. It's just, see, it's all get out. We're actually on the deer. Just trying to go right here. I'll eat my best. I'll eat my best one right here. Still scrapes. Yeah, that's the scrapes in the end of that draw that I was talking about. There you have it. Good old fully mature Arkansas Annie doe right here. Upland doe. Proud to be taking this old girl with me. She's a good one to take out. She's a big old fat doe. She's done her fair share of hunt running in here, I'm sure. Probably busted me a time or 2. Now the fun's over and the work begins. Gotta get this old girl out and gotta get her to the truck and get her home, skin and quarter, and get her on ice before she heats up anymore. She's been laying here in the sun for a minute. I probably should have gotten down and gotten her a little earlier, but she's a full-size good old doe right here. I'm proud of her. I'm happy for her. I needed her. She'll be put to good use. Got some good old back straps back here. Got some back hams and front shoulders. She's gonna make a bunch of burger, a bunch of steaks, and just been a good morning. I'm happy with this little girl. I wasn't too far from my truck today, so I just went ahead and took my climber and my bag back to my truck. I figured I'd come back in here to get this doe. I drug her a little ways by hand. I thought since I had a little bit of time I'd show you guys a tip that Travis showed me. I didn't know it'd work until he showed it to me. It doesn't work real well with my setup, but if you got a different kind of setup, it works pretty well. You can take your cord that you put around the tree with your harness right here. This works for buck or doe, but especially with a doe, because there ain't nowhere to grab them and drag them. This with a buck, I just grab the horn no further than I gotta go and head out of the woods. But this doe, she ain't got no good place to grab. You gotta go over a little bit of, log set and stuff like that. So you just take this little strap right here and you put it around her neck. Just go ahead and cinch it on down. And I usually tighten it pretty good and then tie the rest of it up here as close to where I can. That way it's not just dragging in the blood and stuff as it's going along. So I do hunt with this strap. And I'll just tie this up. Like that right there. And you take your tether on your harness. My harness ain't the best for it, but it works. Take the tether on your harness and you hook it to that strap that's around her neck that's cinched. Just hook it to it right there. Then you take your harness here and you put it on your shoulders upside down. Like that right there. And I go ahead and clip mine together just to kind of make like it kind of acts like your harness upside down. But then you take it, grab your gun or whatever, put it in your hands, and you can drag this deer by walking with her. And you ain't got to wear your hands out dragging her. And her head's lifted up off the ground to where it don't catch on stuff. And you can just walk out of the woods. It's a whole lot better than trying to drag one out by hand, where you got to wrestle with the head hanging on everything, and you're dragging a leg, and your hand slipping, and hand goes to cramping up, and all that stuff. This is a whole lot better. She just rides right along. So, for you bona fide doe killers, there's your tip for